Am I the a-hole for weaponizing my sister's poverty during a family dinner? Some quick background: I've always been ambitious and started a bakery pretty young. I was able to do it through a family loan, which I'm grateful for, and a lot of grit and insane hours. The dedication led me to miss out on a lot of things, and while I'm incredibly proud to have built something that's turned into a super popular spot in my neighborhood, I've definitely missed out on a few things. One of which is that I'm 35 and single/childless. Although I have no regrets, I do want to find love. This is a topic of frequent discussion during family dinners with my parents and sister. It's not an unwelcome discussion, and my parents don't nag, they just ask normal things like how was that coffee date last week? Or did you like so-and-so? And if things don't work out they don't say anything much. Normally it's not a sad discussion, but this week I was sharing a bigger than normal disappointment in a recent failed date. We'd gone out a few times and I thought it would turn into something, but our schedules were incompatible. After hearing this, my sister piped up and said she wasn't surprised because I had a negative and unfeminine aura that turns away men. My parents tried to shut her up, but she kept going on and on about how men would find my energy aggressive because I set too many boundaries. She ended with saying that I should try manifesting a positive love story and that by going into relationships with negativity I was manifesting failure. I was honestly so mad at this point, that I just blurted out, well, maybe if you manifested a job, you wouldn't be fighting with Tom, her children's father, over child support payments. She has 2 kids with Tom, split 50-50 custody, and tries to live off of her child support payments by staying with my parents. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that, except she always complains about not having nice things, i.e. she wanted a Chanel bag and was jealous her friend got one for her anniversary, and refuses to work. My dad offered her an admin job at his company, but she hated sitting for so long. She immediately started crying at the table, causing us to cut dinner short. My parents are trying to not take sides, but have recently asked me to apologize because my sister has been making social media posts about me weaponizing their poverty and being a bully. BTW, to call herself poor is honestly a slap in the face to people actually facing poverty. She lives in a gated community in my parents' home. She refuses to come to my mom's birthday party next week if I don't say sorry. I personally feel like she deserved it, but I can tell my mom's upset. Am I the a-hole for insinuating a woman was fat? I, 35F, am currently 8 months pregnant. Something I've learned, fun news for anyone aspiring to follow down that same path, is that a lot of people, mostly older women, feel that if you get pregnant they suddenly have the right to both comment and touch your body without permission. Sometimes/often without warning even total strangers. I'm an intrinsically private person and while I don't take offense, it does encourage the inner snark to come out. I started showing around 5/6 months. I have 2 fibroids that are each quite large, think softball size. This causes me to look bigger and further along than I am. I've also not really gained elsewise. Yes, I'm aware it's a good problem to have, but I do look disproportionate, so it's really apparent even under hoodies. Fast forward to last weekend. I was in our local grocery store and an older, larger woman walks up to me and says something akin to, "Oh honey, congrats. How far along are you?" Kindly, "Sure." So I smile, step out of touching distance, this is usually when they go for a belly feel, and say 8 months. She looked at me with a shocked expression and exclaims, "Oh hun, no, I would have guessed any day now. You're huge." So, I smiled sweetly back at her and said, "Oh thanks, you too." You can imagine it didn't go over well. At one point she said something about it being medical, and so my one interjection was, "Hey, me too," but it didn't do much to diffuse the situation. Eventually she halved away and I carried on my business. I don't really feel bad, but I am trying to gauge the assholiness of my response. I strongly feel that there shouldn't be a stigma that pregnant women suddenly become public property, but acknowledge I could have once again been the bigger person. Or responded with, "Yeah, I have 2 tumors in there with her," which has historically gotten a sputtering apology from people too. Fibroids are benign tumors, so this is technically true, just aimed at making people uncomfortable. Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my stepdaughter with her baby? I, F38, married my husband Sam, M47, 5 years ago. Sam always knew I did not want to have children of my own. He was fine with it. He has a daughter Leah, F25. His wife died when Leah was 10 years old and I met him when she was 15. I didn't meet her till after a year of dating. She was a sweet young adult and we got along great. I did not move in with Sam till Leah left for college though. Leah got pregnant last year. Her boyfriend did not want to keep the baby but she wanted to keep it. He broke up with her. Leah moved back in with us cause she could not afford her lifestyle without him. She worked as a teacher and he was the breadwinner. I had concerns about how she was going to raise a child on a teacher's salary by herself. I suggested getting him to pay child support. She did not want that. Sam thought I should stay out of it. Fine. But once she had the baby around 4 months back, Leah seemed to realize having a baby is not the sunshine and rainbows she thought it was. She barely got any sleep during the last 4 months. All the while Sam was helping her with the baby while I did almost all chores myself. Now her leave is ending. She did not want to leave baby at daycare or with a nanny. Sam and I both work as well. She asked if I could stay home with the baby. I said no. First, it is not my baby, and I never wanted to raise a child. Second, I have work. She asked Sam, who asked me to do it instead. I refused, stating the reasons again. Sam couldn't stay home because he earned more than me and covered more bills. I asked why Leah can't stay home with the baby herself. She said how she was young and had to build a career. I said many people take breaks to raise kids, and she broke down crying about how she was so tired all the time being a mom and she needed something else in her life too. Sam feels bad for her and thinks we should help her. I suggested she pay for nanny with her income, but Leah doesn't want strangers looking after her baby. Both of them are pressuring me to stay home with baby so she can go to work. I am standing firm on my decision. Leah said yesterday how she wished her mom was alive since she would have had her back. She said I didn't love her and my husband is also mad at me. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter she's a disappointment? I have 2 daughters, 23F, 20F. They are both so beautiful and smart and I really love them both. I always wanted them to be strong and independent women who could stand on their own feet, and I tried to raise them that way. They were both interested in volleyball. I always supported their interest. My younger is still playing in a team and also studying at a good university. She is really hardworking, and even if she does not succeed in playing professional volleyball, she will definitely have a good job. My older daughter quit both sports and school when she got pregnant at the age of 18. When she first told us that she was pregnant, I was very upset and advised her to have an abortion because having a child at such a young age would disrupt her life. She did not want to have an abortion and my wife supported her decision. To be honest, I was very insistent on her having an abortion at that time, but when I saw that she remained determined, I dropped the issue and supported her fully, even though I didn't want to. She got married quickly with the baby's father. Then she decided to stay at home and take care of her child, and her husband started to work. I never wanted my daughter to be financially dependent on her husband, but I never voiced it either. But of course, my daughter knows that I'm bothered by this. Yesterday we were having dinner with my daughters and my wife. My wife and daughter started talking about being a mother. My wife told her that even though I wanted her to have an abortion, I love my grandson very much now. My daughter asked me if that was so, and I said, of course I love him. I really love my grandson, but my daughter knew that I was bothered by her situation, so it didn't sound sincere at all. My daughter said I could give an honest answer. I told her that I really love my grandson, but that I was disappointed that she had become a mother at an early age, had left school and her job, and was now dependent on a man. She didn't argue with me, but the rest of the night was a bit tense. At the end of the night she went home and my wife started a fight over what I said. I told her that she was the one who wanted an honest answer, but my wife is sure that I'm an a-hole. My younger one agrees with me but says I was rude to say it out loud. Am I the a-hole for laughing when my son came home from meeting his girlfriend's parents because he chose to behave like he does at home? My son burps a lot while eating. I have tried telling him multiple times that it is rude. I've told him to slow down so he doesn't swallow air with his food. I've told him that it is disgusting. My wife will instantly jump in to defend him. She will say that's just the way he is and that it's not his fault. The thing is, he can control himself when I remind him. He just chooses not to. He just went on a date with his girlfriend last night and she tore him a new asshole. It was his first time meeting her parents since they live in another city. They went out to a fancy restaurant and he burped all the way through supper. He came home almost in tears from her chewing him out for behaving like a jackass in front of her family. I heard him telling my wife about it and I laughed. She asked what was so funny and I reminded them both that I had tried dozens if not hundreds of times to teach him table manners and he rejected them and she protected him. I said that now he is a grown man and he had to learn the hard way. They both think she overreacted and that I'm the asshole for being amused by his experience.